¿Qué tal, amigos? We are back on another episode of LatiNation Football Club. I'm your host, Marcelino Ortiz, and I'm here with the full team, my friends, Nik Z, Alex Crespo, Camila Ortiz, and El Chiva Mayor, Julio Ramos. And my friends, we are very excited because today we are celebrating el fin de semana de las finales. That is right, we got finals on Liga MX Femenil, we got finals on NWSL, and that's why we have the experts, Camila Ortiz and Alex Crespo, to break it all down, while Chiva, Nik, and I, we try to keep up with them. So let's get started. Camila, you are the pro. You are the one that knows everything that needs to be known about Liga MX and MLS, and also NWSL, which is the most important, because let's start there. What a surprising final.
Absolutely.
Estoy triste. I'm sad, guys. I'm very sad because Marta didn't make it to the final.
We're looking forward to that.
Orlando Pride messed it up.
Yep.
Kansas City was left behind by no other than Gotham. Break it down for us, Camila.
Absolutely. Before we can talk about this weekend, we got to rewind.
Yep.
We got to talk about last weekend because Gotham FC advances to the finals after defeating no other than Orlando Pride 1-0 with a stoppage time free kick winner by Jaden Shaw. I mean, an unbelievable free kick. And in the 97th minute, I believe, on the other side of it, Washington Spirit also reaches the final after a breathtaking performance against Portland Thorns, defeating them 2-0.
Portland Thorns was a team that was really trying to, make a deep run in the playoffs. They had a great season. Surprisingly, we see that Kansas City couldn't get it done. It was the biggest surprise. Now, Alex, do you think that Gotham, because they qualified on 8th place, they defeated probably the best teams in the league. Does that make them the favorites to win this?
I mean, they did finish a little bit, down there in the table, but, the teams that they did go against were the top ones. I mean, we have Kansas, of course, and then we have Orlando Pride. I think that this is definitely going to be showing that their level of, confidence going into this final is going to be way superior than Washington, and I'm going to have to give it to Gotham for sure.
Now, Nik.
Underdogs.
For sure. The person that they are going to be speaking the most around this final is Trinity Rodman. Mm-hmm. The rumor is that she's leaving NWSL by the end of the season. This is her opportunity to make a name for herself in the domestic tournament. How important is for her to make this the biggest game of her career?
I mean, obviously, as you know, when we're talking about legacy, it's going to change everything. It's going to put everything into perspective and take things on another level. To add on to what you were saying, though, I think what we're going to have to watch out for is Washington's early on pressure, that press that they're going to try to put on Gotham to make them crack into the beginning. So it's really going to come down to the top of the match, I think. That's going to be the most crucial thing to look out for coming into this championship.
Absolutely. I mean, we have to note that Washington Spirit and Gotham are both championships. They're both going for that second star on the jersey. I think, to Nick's point, again, Washington Spirit has been in more finals than Gotham. They know what it's like to play in these high-stake games. And I think that's something we have to look out for with Washington is they have that, some veterans under their belt. They really know what they're doing, and I think that makes a big difference going into a championship game.
Chiva, in these finals, really, once you're there in the game, it doesn't really matter your track record. It doesn't mean, the number of wins that you have under your belt at that point. What are the keys for a team to win a final?
I mean, when you're a team like Gotham that are in 8th place and then make it to a final, eliminating Kansas, eliminating Orlando, I think that tells you everything. I think they have everything to win the championship, no pressure at all. They're already in the final. Even though, of course, you're going to have pressure because it's the final. At the end of the day, I think it doesn't matter, like you said, what position on the tables they finish. It's what they deliver that day. And even though Washington is going to come out in pressure, like Nik was mentioning, I think that Gotham has what it takes to win this championship. I mean, we've seen it many times. 8th place takes it all the way.
All the way. That's what I'm saying, guys. I believe that Gotham has an opportunity that we've never seen, and it will be the year in the United States where brand new teams make it all the way to the final. If San Diego is Nik there in MLS, guys. But right now, let's talk about another very important final that is being played here in the LatiNation airwaves, my friend. On Sunday, we're going to have Tigres versus Chiva. America, that's right. Let's rewind a little bit.
Let's go back.
Let's go back to last week. Nik, break it down for us. What happened, dude? We had a Clásico lined up. We had Chivas, Femenil trying to get to the final. ¿Qué pasó?
I mean, look, I don't want to take credit away from America. And I don't want to bash Chivas in front of Mr. Chiva himself over here. America is coming into this looking so good. 2-0 wins back-to-back against Chivas. They're coming into this final looking absolutely stunning in perfect form. I mean, it's not going to be easy against Tigres. I mean, attacking power on Tigres' side is absolutely phenomenal. Top scorers coming into this in the Apertura, but it's going to be hard. I mean, it's going to be really difficult for Tigres to surmount America that is just looking so good. Chiva, what do you have to say about your squad? I mean, that's the America side, in my opinion. They're just looking very formidable. But what happened with your squad, man? You tell us.
Can we talk about something else?
What's your favorite food, Chiva?
On a serious note, I mean, Chivas tried their best. America is a phenomenal team. They showed against Monterrey. I think, like you said, it's going to be very tough, very hard for Tigres to win it easily. But we have here La Final de Finales and LatiNation, and I think Tigres has what it takes.
And these are two teams that know each other very well. And when you have that kind of situation, it's going to be an amazing match to watch right here on LatiNation either way.
Probably the best teams in Liga MX. Some people will say Pachuca, it's in the mix, but America and Tigres, they're amazing. Yep. Now, Camila, I need your expertise. I need you to tell me how dangerous is to see that Tigres in the last two games, in the semifinal and the quarterfinals, they struggle a lot. A team that was used to scoring 5, 6, 7, up to 9 games in a single game, 9 goals in a single game, they went and they played Juarez, they barely scored 1 goal.
Yep.
Is Tigres already past their peak this season?
That's a hard question to ask. When you think peak, I think the whole, like you said, the rest of the season, it needs to be a race. So we need to look at the playoffs, Apertura, on its own separate segment, right? I think that Tigres, I think the problem is the momentum kind of dwindled, right? I mean, like you said, we saw them scoring really high goals. But once you get into these playoffs, it's kind of anyone's game. And so I'm worried that Tigres coming into this final, being used to scoring so many goals and then going to so little, I don't know how they're going to face up to a team like America who seems to really have it going under the belt.
Alex, who are you backing on this game? I want to know, who are you with?
I mean, honestly, I think I'm going to have to go with Tigres. I mean, America in these last few games have been showing a lot of dominance against the teams they've been playing, but Tigres have been on a good run throughout the whole season. I mean, 1 loss throughout the whole season, like, no other team can really do that. I mean, I think that they have what it takes to really dominate this final.
We'll see. Now, let's go down the road. America or Tigres?
In this matchup, what we're talking about is what you just mentioned, like a team that's been like steady, slow and steady, consistent throughout the entire league, putting up great numbers, wins left and right. And then you have America coming into this like hot, on fire. So it's like slow, steady, stability versus momentum. And we've seen, as what we were just talking about with WSL, everything can change in a playoff, right? It's like almost a reset. Whatever happened in the season, forget about it. That's why I'm going with America, because we're in the playoffs and they're hot and they're off a really good streak against Chivas, Monterrey before that. So I'm putting my money on America right now.
Apostando en contra de la casa.
No
Oh my God, company, what's going on?
I have to just put, hey, we talked about this last time. Journalism versus emotion. And I'm just saying, I'm just looking at what's on paper.
That's right, that's right. That's why I brought that question, because Tigres on paper doesn't seem like the favorite to win. Although, they do play the final right here on LatiNation, my friends. On Sunday, we're going to have the best game of the season. That is right, Tigres versus America for the Título de Campeona de Liga MX Femenil, my friends. It's going to be so exciting. And it's the commitment that we have here on LatiNation to share Liga MX in English for free for all of you guys. And if you haven't, please download the LatiNation app so you can watch the game wherever you are. You don't have a... Ahora sé que sin pretexto, ¿no? Okay, I gotta go here, I gotta go there, no sé qué. Get the app. Where they can get the app, Camila? If they go where? LatiNation.com/download. And then you get your app.
Right now, download it right now, guys.
That is right, my friends. And with that, we have to go on a break. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're gonna have more LatiNation Football Club. That's right, my friends. We're gonna come back. World Cup qualifiers, MLS playoffs, and much more. You're watching LatiNation Football Club.
Goff and Mahomes were never taken serious. Hurts won't be even if they're the 1 seed. Jonathan Taylor plays running back. Stop. Mahomes lost the head-to-head to Josh. Can I confidently eliminate every single person booked behind Josh Allen to at least beat out Josh Allen? So I'm in a head-to-head with Stafford May?
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Another sport like the NBA, which is dealing with its own, scandals, so to speak, and its own headlines with the FBI and what else comes, because this is the same FBI team that also brought the NBA scandals to light. So I'd have to imagine they're working on some other stuff as well right now, and the timing is definitely not a coincidence, but definitely some very significant news in the gambling world that now you're not going to be able to bet more than $200 on a specific pitch market.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Where are the wins coming from? And yes, I agree. Are they good enough to win those games? Yeah, of course they are, right? But the reality of this team is not very good this year in one-score games. They're not. That was their bread and butter a year ago. Like every win last year, one-score game, the Chiefs found a way to win it.
The Craig Carden Show. Only on SportsGrid.
You need Justin Jefferson on that wall in the playoffs. Like, you got to go get him. He is still the man. I understand the JJ week last. I get it. It was ugly. There were a lot of spots where, where's he throwing that ball to? What's he doing? It'll be fine. Justin Jefferson's far too talented, and McCarthy will continue to figure it out. But it's the target volume you want. He gets double-digit targets every week. He is arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL.
Fantasy Sports Today. Only on SportsGrid.
And we are back here, my friends. This is LatiNation Football Club. I'm here with Nik Z and Julio Ramos, El Chiva Mayor, and my friends. It is a great moment because World Cup is coming. Woo! A lot more new teams have qualified. A lot more new dreams have been born because we have some of the most exciting narratives around the World Cup that have been in a long time. Let's remind the audience we have an extended format for the World Cup this year. We're going to have 42 teams, a lot more than before, and that is opening the door for very brand new teams and very brand new countries to participate in La Fiesta Global, in the biggest event in soccer every 4 years. Let's break it down. For me, the most surprising qualifier was here close to home in CONCACAF, no other than Curaçao, my friends. Curaçao, the smallest country to ever qualify to the World Cup, Nick.
What did you say the population was?
156,000.
I mean, are you kidding me? Imagine you're from a small island nation and finally you make it to the world stage after watching, the big guys duke it out for all of your life, and now you're seeing your own. It must be such a proud moment from them. But it's not just Curaçao, right? Who else? We've seen Haiti qualify as well. So far, Panama also went through as well. Those are the teams that have made it as a sure thing, right?
Yeah.
And then we have
Suriname and Jamaica are going to play the playoffs in Monterrey and Guadalajara coming up. Now, big countries that had big dreams couldn't make it. We are talking about Costa Rica, we're talking about Honduras, Guatemala, and El Salvador. Two countries that have been very close to qualifying, and this was probably their biggest chance ever. Mexico and United States and Canada were not participating on the qualifiers. This is something that is not going to ever happen again. So it seems a dark time for Central America because they don't seem to have what it takes to qualify to the World Cup. Now, the upcoming World Cup is going to be 64 countries. So maybe they have a chance. But, Chiba, what does this mean for the region, for CONCACAF, that the Central American countries that have, you will say, a more developed soccer, a more developed infrastructure around the sport, they're not being able to qualify, where we see countries like Haiti that have been involved in poverty, political unrest, they do not have a recognized professional league, and yet they are on the World Cup.
I mean, it's sad to see Costa Rica. I think that's the biggest upset because Costa Rica, without Mexico, Canada, and USA participating from these qualifications, just to see them at the last match versus Honduras, it was a sad game to watch. Both teams needed to win. Both teams play scared. Both teams played safely, and both teams got eliminated. Honduras at the last minute by an own goal from Guatemala versus Suriname, which makes this World Cup qualification is very, very special. For Central America, Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, for them not able to make it to a World Cup that give you the opportunity, a unique opportunity to make it, is just sad. I feel bad for the fans. They don't deserve this, but it's football.
It is.
When I think about Costa Rica, I think about the 2014 World Cup in Brazil when they had this amazing run, just a few matches away from getting into the quarterfinals. It was an absolutely stunning run for Costa Rica, and to watch them not even qualify now, it is quite heartbreaking. But we're seeing the same thing happening also on the other side of the pond, so to speak. We talked about Italy making it now to the playoffs. A team that's raised the trophy numerous times now in the playoffs, despite having a very good record, right? Like Italy has won a lot of its last matches in the qualifying.
They lost one game.
They lost one game. They were exposed by Norway. And what does that tell us? We're entering, let's say, an era in football where we're watching new teams emerge.
Without a doubt.
In Africa, Morocco has emerged as a superpower. We've seen Croatia rise the ranks in the last few World Cups. Norway now, a formidable force. Holland leading them, to spanking Italy, for lack of a better term.
Yep.
And so the Italians will complain. They'll talk about the rules, this and that. But at the end of the day, they were exposed by a new team, Norway, newcomers. And so it's almost like a change in power. It's like a change, right? It's like we're seeing new teams come out, and that's going to tip that balance of power.
I think the statement from Norway playing in Italy and winning 4-1, it was a big statement saying, you know what? Yeah, we haven't won a World Cup in our history, but we're here. We have really good players. And it's good to see in football. You see it now all around the world that the teams that you would never expect to grow are growing.
Yep.
And that's just amazing.
And teams that have players, in the elite level. We've seen in the past players that do not have the national team to make it to the World Cup.
Zlatan is a
Zlatan never made it to the World Cup, and he was one of the top teams, top players. But now we see that Haaland, that for a long time people didn't believe that he was going to participate in a World Cup. Now I believe that it's a threat. For me, Norway is one of the top candidates because Haaland can score against any team.
Hey, don't underestimate the Vikings. Remember when Iceland randomly did amazing?
They won. They won a Euro Cup.
Yeah.
Just by defending, just the same way as Greece did once not too long ago. Now, another surprising team that won in a spectacular manner with 3 bangers of a goal, Chiba, break down the path of Scotland to the World Cup.
I mean, it was crazy. They go up winning 1-0 with an amazing bicycle kick. Then Denmark scored the 1-1. They go up to 1, Denmark, and with 10 men, which is crazy. Scotland tied the game, and then at the last minute, they scored this goal that made the whole country the happiest country in the world by qualifying one more time to the World Cup, which is just to see the faces and the players, but most of it for me and the fans. The fact that they're celebrating a World Cup, that they're qualifying to a World Cup, is just a feeling that I hope everybody can feel one day.
Yeah, they got to watch their English brothers and sisters, do so great on the world stage for a while. I'm sure they're happy to be in there.
That is right. Now, tell me, what are your top 4?
My top 4 in paper: Argentina, España, Francia, and you could throw there Colombia. Pero I'm gonna say this: you gotta be careful with Norway.
True.
I think that they are gonna be a very good team, and don't be surprised. I'm gonna mention Colombia again if they make it to the final. They have a really, really good team.
I like that prediction, Right now, Luis Diaz is playing like the best player in the world, my friends. My top 4, I'm gonna agree with you guys. I think Spain tops the list of everybody for this World Cup. Argentina, but for me, like you said, Morocco. Morocco is the dark horse of this and the next World Cup. They will be hosting the next World Cup. They are probably developing the biggest infrastructure around youth soccer in the world. And I'm going to close my top 4 with no other than Mexico. I think that Mexico can have, for the first time, a deep run because, like you said, Chiba, they're playing at home. And the very last moment, that last period of preparation, it's always when Mexico, rises from the ashes and tries to make it. But my friends, thank you for your analysis. Thank you for your predictions. And for now, we got to go on a break. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, more LatiNation Football Club.
Let's play our game of buy or sell. It has been a season to remember for Drake May. As of right now, May and Matthew Stafford are the favorites to win the NFL's MVP. Who had that at the beginning of the year? You probably could go through 20 quarterbacks before you got to Drake May as predicting winning the MVP. After this season, buy or sell, we will think of Drake May as the best quarterback in the 2024 draft class. Is this buy or sell? He certainly wasn't going in.
All right, for those who don't know, we're talking May, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix, J.J. McCarthy, Bo Nix. A lot of interest there, right? A lot of interest there as far as those QBs. He's going to be the best. I mean, this is a question I would normally just take the field, right? Because I'll assume that Jaden Daniels has been really good. While he's hurt now, Caleb Williams, he's getting better and better. I'm still not giving up hope on the other three here as far as Penix, McCarthy, and Nix, although I would certainly have May well above them. So I think for me, it's either Daniels, it's either, Williams, it's either May. Isn't this recency bias? Last year we would have, it's Daniels. By far, it's Daniels. Now because he's hurt, hasn't had a good year, it's Drake May. I'll sell this just for the sake of it, Craig, here, but I don't necessarily disagree.
Yeah, I'm going to sell. I got Jaden Daniels still. I can't go this far with Drake May. Maybe second best, but it's not even about taking the field. We're having recency bias here. Jaden Daniels, to me, will still be awesome. So next year for Daniels goes back ahead of Drake May.
Fantasy Sports Today. Friday starting at 3 p.m. Only on SportsGrid.
What up, my friends? Welcome back. This is LatiNation Football Club. I am your host, Marcelino Ortiz. This is Nik Z, y Julio Ramos, el Chiva Mayor. And right now, my friends, it is time to talk about some of the biggest games this weekend. MLS playoffs. The quarterfinals are here. And we will be deciding who make it to the conference final, my friend. We have 4 games. We have Miami versus Cincinnati. We got Vancouver versus LAFC. We got New York versus Philadelphia. And finally, Minnesota versus San Diego, Nick. And I'm glad that we landed with San Diego and you, because you were an early champion of this team.
Yeah.
I can actually pull the tape from the early shows of the season where Nick is coming and saying, my friends, cuidado con San Diego, porque San Diego viene con todo. Tell me, what was the secret for San Diego to make such an impactful first season?
A lot of it, in terms of my predictions and my foresight, was just straight up luck. I had a feeling. I was like, San Diego, as like this expansionist team, could actually end up like sort of like this expansionist juggernaut that's surprising everybody because they're running off just straight up pride. San Diego as a city, it's like, why did they not become, a football team? Why did they not get a football team earlier on? I mean, this is a city that's like so rich in culture. You'd think, they would have earlier, but they didn't. And so when they finally got it, I felt like they're going to do something amazing with it. They've already exceeded all expectations. They've done absolutely amazing. I saw Chucky Lozano being a formidable force. What I didn't see was like amazing football all around from the entire team. Other standout talents like Dreyer, for example, and coming out as somebody who's like leading the league, not the top because, Messi's in the top spot, but up there in goals, up there in assists. It's just such a well-rounded, beautiful
Messi,
team.
He probably will be MVP.
Yeah, no, for sure. So that was kind of it. It was a lot of luck, but then, there was something to see there in that team early on.
Now tell me, do you think they still have what it takes to go and beat Minnesota? We know Minnesota very well. Minnesota is one of the, old school, the OGs of MLS. One of those teams that can knock you out of contention. Do you think San Diego has what it takes?
I think certainly we've seen time and time again that anything can happen in the finals, but I'm still putting my money on San Diego FC. At this point in time, I don't see anyone really other than Miami posing any sort of threat for San Diego if they continue through this playoffs with that same consistency that we've seen through the season.
Chiva, let's go on the opposite side of the bracket. I'm going to ask you about a team that we don't praise too much here at LatiNation Football Club. We're no strangers to being critical of Miami and Messi because, as the stars as they are, they should be held to a different standard and not just come aquí a pasear a la Liga Estadounidense de Retiro, because that is not the case. We are, like Chiva likes to call it, this is MLS 3.0. This is different. Chiva, break down for me this epic match, Miami versus Cincinnati.
I mean, Messi has this weight on his back that he needs to win an MLS Cup. That's what he's here for. And I see Miami struggling a lot with Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati has shown in the past previous seasons that they're a very, very strong team. But again, we've seen, I don't want to sound like a crybaby or a complainer, but we've seen, the refs helping a little bit. Ayuditas, exacto. Because they want to see a final Miami versus LAFC. They want it. I want it. We want it.
We all want it.
So I think that even though it's going to be very tough for Miami to advance, they are going to advance. Cincinnati, again, it's a very, very strong team, but I don't think they're going to be able to stop Messi because he's on fire. Let's face it, he's an MVP, Gold Boot winner. They're just going to I'll play him and advance to the East final, and let's see what happens there. Because you got Philadelphia, you got New York. That can be a very, very good opponent for
Messi
Miami.
yet to score against Cincy this year, so remember that one.
Oof.
Chiva, breaking news. We just heard that the next season of MLS will be the last that is not aligned with the global calendar, my friends. What do you guys feel is the relevance of MLS switching to a calendar, 10 months to align with the rest of the world?
It'll help some teams, it'll hurt others, given just the geographic differences in the States and then all of the different weather patterns that we have on the north and the south and the east and the west. So it'll change things in there, but I think it's a great thing. I honestly think it's great. It's about time that MLS is on track with the other leagues of the world and not following, let's say, and competing with the NBA or NFL or other leagues domestically.
I mean,
MLS 4.0, break it down.
They're on the right path. For many years, we have asked, and people around the world, to take MLS serious. They gotta, kind of go with what the rest of the world are doing. Exactly. And we're finally gonna do it after our World Cup that is gonna bring a lot of changes, and I mean a lot of changes to the MLS. Expect more than just a change of calendar. I think they're finally gonna open up the salary cap. We're finally gonna be able to see more and more young, talented stars come to MLS. And I'm happy for this. It's something that is gonna change a league that I love, a league that I have grown with. And it's only going to make it better for all of us.
Yeah.
That's right, my friends. And we will be covering here on LatiNation Football Club as we have been. And with that, we have to go, my friends. That's it for this episode of LatiNation Football Club. As always, a banger of a show. And we want to thank you, the MVP of LatiNation Football Club, for choosing to spend this time with us. We'll be back next week with more football. I am your host, Marcelino Ortiz, and I'll see you next week.
Ashton Genty has been hit behind the line of scrimmage more than any player in the National Football League. Yep. So you just gave him the ball in the end zone. Do the math. How's that going to work out?
It's like what I said
earlier.
He got hit
behind the line of scrimmage. He got tackled in the end zone.
Yeah.
Oh, they're terrible. But the thing is, Brady, you draft offensive linemen before you draft a star running back. Like they went backwards.
In-game live only on SportsGrid.
When I think of the European tour, these are the players I'm thinking of, right? So I understand why that they would be so frustrated by all this, but they also know that there are rules in place that, from a competitive standpoint, that if you're a member of this tour, like, you can't go join a rival tour. Like, there's rules in place, just like in any other business.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
The Green Bay area and the Philadelphia area, you would get on ABC normally.
Yes.
But they didn't have ABC, so they couldn't get it locally.
Yeah, it just, you have to ask the question, like, nobody wants to hear from Bob Iger during the Monday night game when 10 million people are blacked out from watching the game, and you not ask him about when the blackout's going to end.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
The 35 cents, though, for yes on Ohio State.
Yeah.
I like that, Donnie. I think there's value in that right now because we only got, 3 weeks left to go. Then we'll have conference championships. Yeah, the more they keep winning, and they will win, the more that will increase, and that's a pretty good return on an investment there with Calci.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.